name's John Zimmerman, and I am running to bring a balanced sense of justice to the Johnson County criminal justice system, because right now, the way it functions hurts a lot of real people unnecessarily by focusing limited resources in the wrong places. Now, police officers are an important part of the criminal justice system. They are trained as the first responders. They're trained to assess situations, to get control of situations, to bring safety to situations that are out of control. And that is their training. Police officers are of different quality, like anybody else. They bring different values and prejudices and attitudes to their job. But the police officer who shows up in a situation should not make the final decision about what happens to the people involved in that situation. And the vast majority of the time now, whatever the police bring in gets prosecuted. The job of the county attorney, one of the important jobs of the county attorney, is to look at an overall sense of justice, not just the assessment and decision that the police officer makes when they show up, but what reflects the overall values of the community. Let me read a couple of things real quick here. This is from the Iowa County Attorneys Association Prosecutorial Standards. First line. County attorney is the chief law enforcement official of the county. The county attorney is responsible for the direction and control of the prosecutorial function in his or her jurisdiction. The primary responsibility of the prosecutor is to seek and obtain justice. And any listing of standards for prosecutors will say things like this, that the first goal is not to maximize convictions, it's not to back up the police, it's to maximize justice. And because of that, prosecutors have a lot of discretion. Right? Any honest prosecutor would say there's no way you can actually prosecute criminally every violation of the law. That would be impractical. For example, the marijuana issue has gotten a lot of attention here. Realistically, if you arrested everybody today, at this very moment, who is guilty of possession of marijuana or paraphernalia in Johnson County, you'd be arresting probably upwards of 15,000 people. And no one would stand for that. So then the decision is, how do you use limited resources to maximize justice? Standard 2.2 of the County Attorneys Association of Iowa says this: the prosecutor should utilize his or her discretion in screening to eliminate those cases from the criminal justice system in which prosecution is not justified. And then it lists factors to be considered. Here are a few of them. Undue hardship caused to the accused. Right? So the punishment is disproportionate to the offense. Excessive cost of prosecution in relation to the seriousness of the offense. Whether the prosecution has a deterrent value. The expressed wish of the victim not to prosecute, and possible improper motives of the complainant, who in a lot of these cases, especially in victimless cases, is the police officer. Unfortunately, police officers don't answer to the county attorney. They answer to their individual police departments. We have various jurisdictions within the county. Cases get brought in here which have to do with victimless offenses that most people would say, this is not really a big deal. Johnson County has some of the worst statistics around when it comes to racial disparity. The state of Iowa has some of the worst statistics, and Johnson County is very much a part of that. State of Iowa has the highest racial disparity between blacks and whites of incarceration in the country. State of Iowa has the highest arrest rate for racial disparity arrest rate in marijuana in the country. So you're 8 times more likely in Johnson County, for example, to be arrested for pot if you're black than if you're white, even though surveys show that black and white people smoke at the same rate. It's not because, so why do 8 times as many black people get arrested? Because you're 8 times as likely to be stopped and searched if you're black. Part of the job of the prosecutor of the county attorney's office is to step back, look at these overall justice issues, and use the things the police bring in to work at that overall goal.